This is the Big Bizzle Show with Chris Kennedy. He's going to be talking about his Grand Prix experience this year, month, whatever. We're just gonna let him tell the stories. Yeah, I think it's
stories.
All the stories. You can start.
Have you said viewer discretion is advised?
Viewer discretion was advised the minute that your name was on the thing. Okay.
Fair enough. So we got to the GP Friday and we started grinding. Eric Collins was with us. He was going to grind into to standard, and so he's like 10 minutes ahead of me in the line. Josh Serrano comes up. He's like, let's go get something, whatever, and I'll grind with you. And if we play each other, I'll just scoop you in. I'm like, cool, that's one less person I have to worry about. So we get back, Eric's playing, and 2 seats away from him is Brad Nelson. I'm like, fuck is Brad Nelson doing grinding standard like trials? Doesn't this guy already have his buys? It turns out he doesn't.
Oh my god.
And he's sitting 2 seats down from Eric, and Eric looks at him. I swear to God, Eric looks at Brad Nelson and goes, what's up, bro? I kind of wanted to meet you.
Wow.
And Brad, without missing a beat, goes, kinda? And I could lie and tell you that Eric said, well, you're no Brian Kibler. But he didn't. I would have.
Wow.
But no,
Wow.
Brad Nelson was like, he's the only pro that's like, it seemed to be stalking me. Like, you would see, like, there's Sam Black, there's Pat Chapin, like, Kibler's a fucking leprechaun, you just see him popping up all over the place. But no, like, every time I turned around, I'm like, there's Brad Nelson. Like, he was 2 tables away from me at my drafts. All of my drafts.
All of them?
Like, all of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Like,
How many drafts were there?
I drafted 6 times.
Wow.
Yeah, like I was telling Will earlier when I got here, I played DCI Sanctioned Magic all weekend, and I didn't touch a constructed deck. I played Sealed and Draft on Friday, I played the GP on Saturday, and I played 5 drafts on Sunday.
If you're wondering, he's actually one of the best sealed players at my locals.
Oh my God, we'll talk about the GP. I'm calling it GP Al Mall. God. I went to 5 in the first game of the first round. I'm like, all right, let's knock this bitch out. And I looked at my 7 and I went ship. And I looked at my 6. I'm like, God damn it, I'll ship. And I kept a 5 and got smashed. And then I won game 2, and then game 3 I went to 6 and got smashed. And I'm like, all right, well, at least that wasn't my fault. And I'm calling it GP I'll maul because the games I lost, I mauled, and the games I won, my opponent should have mauled.
Ain't that true in most of the cases?
No, like should have mauled. Like round 2, game 1, I mauled a 5. I'm like, fuck, here we go again. And my opponent goes, I'll keep. I'm like, fuck, I'm at 5, and he just fucking snap cap. I'm gonna get rolled, and at least I'm on the draw. He goes, land, go. I go, land, Foundry Street Denizen, go. He goes, land, go. Like, all right, so we missed this 2-drop on the snap keep. Okay, that's kind of weird. I go, land, True Fire Paladin, swing with my Denizen, go. And he draws a card and says, go. I'm like, pump the fist, fucker, pump the fist. Who keeps a snap cap? 2 lands, no spells you can cast. So here's the story of my GP. Mulliganed myself to death round 1. Didn't take damage round 2. Didn't take damage round 3. Mulled myself to death round 4. Mulled myself to death round 5. Drop.
And then go to your nice little...
Oh no, I didn't do anything else on Saturday. I kind of kept up with Josh, and well, Chewy was there. So I did a lot of hanging out with Chewy. Oh, the Chewy story.
Yes.
So this is actually a 2-parter. There are 2 stories in one little setting. So I'm walking, I'm trying to find Chris Laws after my 5th loss. I just dropped him out. I'm trying to find Laws to find out if he's out because he was also 2-2. And I'm walking, and I just hear, psst, hey Kennedy. And I look, and like Chewy's there, and I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll go hang out with Chewy. And we're sitting there, and we're hanging out, we're having a good time, and Chewy's interviewing somebody for his podcast. And he gets done interviewing him, and the guy sitting next to us says, you guys sound kind of familiar, and I noticed you were recording over there. Do you guys have a podcast? I'm like, yeah, Chewy's on Monday Night Magic in the Maniple, and I'm on Running the Gauntlet. And without missing a beat, the guy goes, oh, I've heard of that one. And the blood just drains from Chewy's face. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? Those are the 2 longest running Magic podcasts in history, and you've heard of that one?
Well, then again, the shenanigans that happens on Running the Gauntlet is just legendary.
So anyway, we keep talking. That guy leaves, and Chewie's just like steaming, like steam coming out of his ears. Like, I can't believe that guy started running the gauntlet. Kibler walks by, and Chewie has not interviewed Kibler yet. And Kibler, you can like literally, you can see him, but you can't catch him. Like everybody's like, I'm gonna go grab Kibler. Fuck, he got away. Whatever, I'll catch him later. Like the entire weekend, Kibler was so hard to find, you couldn't even find him at his own meet and greet.
Really?
Yes, like there was an empty table with a giant Kibler token, and everybody else, you're like, there's Mike Flores, there's Pat Chapin, fucking Kibler's missing. Like, but Chewie, oh my god, I need to learn how to do this. Like, there's Brian Kibler walking past us, and Chewie like jumps up and cuts him off, and like Kibler like bumps into him. He's like, hey Kibler, what's up, man? I'm like, he just made it look like he just fucking ran into Kibler out of what? He's like, you got time for 3 questions?
Okay, the official nickname for Chewie. Chewie the Ninja.
Yeah, like he just, it was ridiculous. But anyway, he gets back from the 3 questions. I'm like, Chewie, if that were me and I were interviewing Kibler, this is how it would go. Hey Kibler, you got time for 3 questions? Yeah, man, what's up? All right, question number 1. Can I touch your hair? You know what? I think he'd let me. I think he'd let me.
What would be the second question if I dare ask?
You don't need a second question. Can I touch your hair? Is all you need to know from Kibler.
Wow.
There's only one question you need to ask Conley, and that's, the fuck were you thinking? And he's like, when? In general, the fuck were you thinking?
Even though I've only talked to him select few times, and that was on, like, Magic Online.
Yeah.
I've actually run into him a couple times, and every time before we start, what the fuck were you thinking?
The fuck were you thinking?
It's like, he didn't even play a land yet. What the fuck?
He played mono black and standard at the PT. He played mono black with Crypt Gas at the Pro Tour.
Is he just a mono black fan or something?
I think he's just a fan of the fuck were you thinking.
Yeah. It's just like running Simic in standard. The fuck were you thinking? Apparently, I made top 8 at a game day with it, so I can't really complain.
That was a great weekend, other than the fact that it was 2,693 players, the largest Magic event in history. And if you think of the shower to non-shower ratio being about 75%, yeah, like literally, it was so hot in that bitch. Like, we got home, or we got back to the hotel after day 1, and I told Chris Sloss, I'm like, I'm gonna go take 3 showers. I will be right back. It was absurd.
That's just, well, that's true. Well, those ratios are actually true for just about every card game. That's the sad part.
Oh god, we were sitting there before the tournament started. I can't remember who it was. I think it was like Amber and her crew. Mm-hmm. We were all standing there, and Chewie was there asking us the 3 questions because he got to us pretty early. And we were talking about just how smelly that room was going to be come tomorrow, or no, come that afternoon because it was Saturday morning. And I suggested like heat-sensitive seats that as soon as your ass touched the seat, you just hear a ding and you get like sprayed with Febreze. Were you there? Yeah, she was there. Yeah. Like, the technology's there. I fucking know it is. Don't tell me it's not.
The toilets can do it.
If the toilets can do it, you can fucking hit me with Febreze before I sat down. And even though I didn't need the Febreze, I would appreciate knowing that everybody else is getting hit with it as well. And by round 3 or 4, I probably needed it.
Well, to be honest, it would probably be better if everybody was sitting down at the same time and then Febreze just came from the sprinklers.
No, see, you can't guarantee that because there's always 2 or 3 jackasses that didn't realize pairings were going up. Oh my god. No, 3. I only played 5 rounds, and I was sitting close enough to hear the conversation 3 times of, Judge. And the judge walks over and goes, what? He goes, I can't find my deck. I heard this 3 times in 5 rounds. Like, not that it happened 3 times in 5 rounds, but I was fucking close enough to the judge to hear the conversation 3 times in 5 rounds. How do you lose a sealed deck at a sealed deck fucking GP?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
I didn't even make day 2, and I know where my sealed deck is right the fuck now. Like, I haven't needed it since Saturday, and I can go through my cache right now and find the bitch.
Well, find it.
These guys are losing after 3 rounds. They're like, I don't have my sealed deck. Isn't this a sealed deck tournament? It's absurd. Absolutely absurd.
The shit that makes you just want to slap somebody.
No, I don't care. They got game lost, and if they couldn't find it, they got match lost and dropped. I mean, it's fucking their fault.
Why don't you bring out your little seal deck?
Actually,
Prove it to the masses.
that's not my sealed deck. That's my last draft deck. It was absolutely absurd. Nope, that's my standard deck. It's in here. Well,
2 days later.
longer than that. I haven't touched this thing since Saturday. Actually, I think it's right here. Yeah.
And we found the deck.
It's mixed in with some draft commons. The rest of my tokens. I just have to figure out where the sealed pool ends and the start of my drafts begin. This is still sorted, so this is my sealed pool.
What'd you end up going and sealed?
Red, white, black, but I should have been rug. Like, I had 3 really solid decks. I just picked the wrong one. They only gave me 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is insane when you've got so many cards that are sorted in so many different ways. Like, everybody was complaining that they should have had more time. Because on Magic Online, 30 minutes is whatever, because you can go, okay, I like that deck, let's put it up to the top and move this. But it's so much harder to do when you're working with physical cards, and I didn't get a good look at the deck I should have played.
You hear that, Wizards? Extend the time period of deck building and sealed. At least to 40.
Alright, there are my 3
minutes.
Ember Beasts, so this is still part of my sealed pool. You know what? I'll just pull out the sealed deck I should have played.
Yeah, that's
I had 3 Ember Beasts, so I know I was in the right color when I picked red. Yeah, and I had 2 Ivy Lane Denizens and a Burning Tree Emissary. Yeah, this is this is it. There.
The deck that should have been.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. There it is. And I had one. There it is. Simic Gilgate. That's what I should have played. What I actually played is mixed up in here somewhere.
This is there's this moments in time where it's like, this is what I played, this is what I should have played.
This is what I should have played, yeah.
And this is definitely
when you got 30 minutes and the clock's ticking down and judges are breathing on the back of your neck, you kind of just go, this'll do.
Yeah. Alright, his deck that he should have played.
It's fairly solid, but the deck I did play was solid too, except for the fact that the mana was much, much worse. They had better cards in it,
Yeah.
but it was just the mana base. Like, that deck was good enough, and I wouldn't have had to put much of a strain on my mana base.
Yeah, just a little bit of blue splashing would have helped.
I mean, that deck had Verdant Haven and Prophetic Prism.
Let's see, we got. This is actually
Like, I played most of this. Like, all the red cards here, I played. It was the green and the blue that I didn't play.
Okay, can I be honest and say what the fuck were you thinking?
Like, no, like, I had a True Fire Paladin and a Court Street Denizen, and like. But see, this is where I made my mistake. I didn't realize how good my fixing was in green.
Yeah, I would have ran this deck in a heartbeat in the sealed event. All right, so far, let's see. This is the sealed deck that he should have played. 1 Homing Lightning, 1 Massive Raid, 1 Metropolis Sprite. Metropolis, yeah.
Metropolis?
Sorry.
Fucking whatever, just...
the Superman Sprite, whatever. 2 Skillbrain Goblin, 1 Burning Tree Emissary, 2 Greenside Watchers.
With only 1 gate, but still, it's a bear. It's a bear.
It's a bear. If anything else, it's a bear.
Somebody had like a... I heard somebody was playing Ramp. They had 3 Greenside Watchers with like 4 gates.
Jesus.
And they had 4 Verdant Havens.
I guess it works if you got it.
They needed some dinosaurs to play. I think they had like a Ruination Worm or something to hit or something. I don't know. I didn't see it, but like, seems absurd.
Machina's Shanktail.
So good.
So good. And
so good.
Yes. Madcap Skills.
The nuts. I would first pick that guy over almost anything.
3 Ember Beasts.
The reason I went red, you can see how solid the red is here. Very, very solid. It was the support colors where I got messed up.
Simic Manipulator. Yeah, that
which is questionable in this deck since I don't have that much blue.
But
it's a double. It's a double blue splash. It was the 23rd. It was a 23rd card, and like I said, my fixing is good. That it was just a solid 23rd, but it probably doesn't have to be there.
War Mind Infantry. I actually like that one as a solid 3-drop.
It's one of the better 3-drops.
Scab Clan Charger, pretty good 4-drop. Burst of Strength.
One of the best tricks in the format. People give, I mean, like being able to untap a creature and make it bigger, just like out of nowhere, just. Yeah.
I actually need a couple of those for my Simic.
It's actually better in Simic when you have the flyer that gives all creatures with a 1/1 counter flying, because even your evolve guy, you're just like untap my evolve guy, make him a flyer, make him bigger, block your guy. So good.
Yes.
It's just so good.
Skarg Guildmage.
The best Guildmage. He's absolutely absurd. Yeah. He does all the things. Like, you hardly ever use trample, but it's there. He basically reads 1 red green. Attack with target land. Absolutely absurd. Like in Gruul, you're just like I splashed him in a Simic deck drafting. I think it was the last draft of the day. It was right before we left Charlotte Sunday night. I had a Simic draft deck splashing a Guildmage and a Zertos Swine. And there was a situation I was playing against Eric Collins because we were in the same draft. It was a semifinals. And by the way, I don't suggest playing $10 drafts with your friends because only one person wins. But they were closing signups. We had money. We wanted to draft one more time, and we ended up playing in the semifinals. And there was a situation. I'm just like, he had the enchantment that says creatures you control get +0/+1 for each gate you control and have vigilance. What people don't realize is they get vigilance whether you have a gate or not. And he had madcap skills on 2 of his creatures, and he was just like shoving them towards me, and I'm just like, we're racing. And there's a situation where I go, make a land, block, untap, make 2 lands 4/4s and kill you.
Wow.
And I could not have done that if Guildmage wasn't just making 4/4s out of nowhere.
Fair enough.
It's like trade a 4/4 with your madcap skills guy, untap, make 2 more 4/4s, and smash you back.
Yeah, that guy just makes all-out war.
It does take 8 mana to make 2 4/4s. Just FYI.
Well, that's true. Even if you're in if it's in standard deck.
It takes 8 lands to attack with 2 4/4s, but. He's very good.
Hindervines.
Solid, better in Simic because your guys deal damage.
Yeah.
But in this deck, I just feel like fog you, untap, swing back. I mean,
my personal favorite guy, Spike Tracer.
He filled in a few gaps. I needed some creatures.
The mana fixing is Verdant Haven
×2.
×2, so good. And Prophetic Prism ×2.
×2.
And a Guildgate. Simic
Guildgate.
You had enough mana fixers to be able to run that.
It's just I made the mistake of my white was just good.
Yeah.
Like I had a Court Street Denizen, I had a True Fire Paladin, I had a Smite.
Yeah. But I think that would have been a lot better. It's a lot more aggressive.
Have you ever seen what happens when you put a Madcap Skills on a True Fire Paladin? People cry. Like people cry. Like my opponent had to play the White Primordial to exile my True Fire Paladin. I went in response, pump, gain 9.
Wow. Yeah, that people I would cry.
He got rid of my creature. I gained 9 life, and then I untapped, killed his Primordial, and he basically spent 7 mana and gave me 9 life to get rid of my 2/2.
That is the worst kill spell ever in Magic.
Well, he did get rid of a 2/2 with a Madcap Skills on it that pumped itself and gave first strike. Like the thing had to go.
Yeah.
that True Fire Paladin with a Madcap Skills on it has to go.
But wouldn't you consider him being fallen behind to do that?
Yes. Yeah. He fell behind.
Either way, he was falling behind because you gained 9 life.
Yeah. And if you guys don't know how good, what's the Clan Defiance?
Yes.
You guys don't know how good that. Like, I'm completely in control of the game. I'm about to tell the story of the only game I lost that I should have lost. Like, I've got complete control of the board. Like, I've got flyers. I've got double Ember Beast, Sky Knight Legionnaire, and something else. Warmind Infantry. Like, the board is mine. I pass the turn. He goes Clan Defiance. 4 to your flyer, 4 to your infantry, 4 to your dome, leaving me with 2 Ember Beasts. Which, it's 2 Ember Beasts.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's like, okay.
He plays their Tosswine and passes.
Sorry, I had to laugh at the facial expression.
It was real unfortunate. Because I either take 5 damage or I block with my Ember Beasts. They can't block alone. They can't block alone.
That just makes you want to cry almost.
So I traded with the swine, and I'm left with an Ember Beast, and immediately floods of James Troy enter my head. I need an adult. I need an adult. Which that's how he got the nickname Ember Beast, because he needs an adult.
What would you do if you had the goblin from M13 that said can't attack or block alone and it didn't have an Ember Beast?
It's basically the same as having 2 Ember Beasts, except for Ember Beast is better. Like, from a limited standpoint, having a 3/4 for 3 is much better than having a 3/3 for 2, because of the 4th toughness. It's so hard to deal with a 4 toughness creature in limited.
Yeah.
Like, the burn spells don't touch them except for Homing Lightning, and I believe that's uncommon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's uncommon. It's a 4-mana uncommon, so you have to have something like Smite, or, I mean a 3/3 for 2 is good, but that 4th toughness is just, for 1 extra mana, 4th toughness is a no-brainer.
The more that you know.
I mean, it's a no-brainer to have a 4th toughness for 1 mana.
That's why that's just why most of the evolved guys I consider it good, because even though
I don't think there are any bad evolved creatures in limited.
no,
I don't think there are many good ones in constructed, but there aren't any bad ones in limited.
that's for me. You would have a nice.
Well, I mean, I think Cloudfin Raptor's okay, but then again, by the time it gets to Delver's size, Delver's already beat you. And, I mean, Experiment 1 is probably the best one. Experiment 1 is very solid.
Yeah, because
And that's why he's actually seeing play in Experiment John. Like, he's good. The rest of them, not so much. And if he didn't regenerate, I don't know how good he would be.
yeah, that's a good point.
Because he's not Champion of the Parish, because Champion of the Parish can, quote-unquote, evolve when you play a 1/1 on turn 6. Whereas this guy, once you start playing, once he gets to like 3/3 or 4/4, it's very hard for a constructed deck to evolve him. At that point, you need Thrive Tusk. So,
Well, then again, in my deck, I use Bioshift Tech.
nah.
Move all my +1/+1
Yeah.
counters to the unblockable guy and swing.
Nah.
Either that or I move it to Force Mage to draw a bunch of cards. Either way, it doesn't hurt that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got 1 story left.
Yeah, 1 story left.
This is the one that I was going to tell before you hit record and told me to wait. Right, so I went with Josh Serrano, Eric Collins, and Chris Laws. And Chris Laws was talking the whole time about, I'm going to meet Pat Chapin, I'm going to pick his brain for hours, I'm going to find out everything he didn't put in his book. Pat Chapin, Pat Chapin, Pat Chapin. Like, if you guys don't know this, I don't know how many of you listen to our show, but Chris Laws is the biggest fanboy I have ever met in my entire life. Like, you should have seen him, like, when he went to get our token signed by Kibler, because I was watching Josh play, and Kibler was in the feature match area. And I'm like, Chris, here's all of our tokens. You go watch the Kibler match, because I know you're dying to see it. When he's done, ask him to sign our tokens. And I could just imagine, like, I wasn't there, but I could just imagine Chris Laws going, Kibler! Brian Kibler over here, sign my tokens! Brian Kibler! So anyway, like, he wants to meet everybody. He talked to Melissa DeTora about her deck. I believe they're calling it Red Bant. So, like, he's like, I'm like, there goes Melissa DeTora. And he's like, oh, cool, I'm going to go catch up with her. And the guy just left. Like, I've never seen a Magic player walk so quickly to talk to a woman before. It was absolutely insane. So, anyway, back to the beginning of the story. Chris Laws, fanboy, wants to meet everybody. He doesn't pay attention a lot. So we're walking past the Star City booth, and Sam Black walks past us. And just to be an ass, I let Sam Black get about 5 or 6 steps away to where he's barely visible. I'm like, Chris, you just passed Sam Black. He's like, what, where? Where? So we're walking. I'm like, we're walking up the stairs. We're going through the security where they're checking the bags, which is probably one of the most pointless security features I've ever seen in my life. If I'm going to jack your shit, I'm going to jack it from your bag, put it into my bag. But anyway, we're going through, they're checking the numbers on our bags so we can leave, and Pat Chapin walks past us. I'm going to pick his brain for hours, Pat Chapin walks past us. Once again, just to be an ass, I let him get about 5 or 6 steps away, and I go, Laws, we just passed Pat Chapin. He's like, where? Like, that way. He's like, when? I'm like, when she was checking your bag. He's like, fucking goddamn Star City wristbands. So throughout the entire weekend, every time something went wrong, we would say fucking goddamn Star City wristbands, whether it involved the wristbands or not.
This sounds about right.
It's like Chris Laws drops his water, fucking goddamn Star City wristbands.
That's probably going to be true for the rest of the night. Kennedy loses.
We missed our turn. Fucking goddamn Star City wristbands.
I forgot my.
We were going somewhere, right? we were gonna say something important, and fucking goddamn Star City wristbands.
Oh my god. That's just not. Now I want one just so I can say that shit.
Oh god, we picked up a homeless guy on the way to the hotel Sunday morning. It wasn't a homeless guy; it was Jabri. But he was in his robe and pajamas and slippers, so I call him the homeless guy. Like, literally, this is how I tell the story. One time, I picked up a homeless guy on the side of the road. No, it's okay. He ate one day one. So he calls us up Friday night. He's like, yo, Josh, can I crash with you guys? Josh is like, can Jabri stay here? We're like, yeah, Jabri. He's like, yeah, Jabri, you can stay here. Then he immediately goes, can my friend stay with you guys? And we're like, no, Jabri, go away. We hang up. So we're leaving the convention center. We're heading to the car to go home so Josh can sleep because he's got to play day 2. And the phone rings. Josh answers it. And I quote, what's up, Jabri? Is it cool if Jabri stays with us tonight? He made day 2. Yeah, sure, he needs a bed. He can stay with us. Sure. Yeah, Jabri, you can stay with us. No, Jabri, your friends can't stay with us. No, Jabri, just tell us where you are. We're going to pick you up. You need a bed. You're fucking 8 and 1. We're going to come pick you up. You're not sleeping on the floor. So we have to turn around, and we're like, we'll meet you in front of the convention center. So we pull up to the front of the convention center. No, Jabri. Like, where you at, Jabri? What do you mean you're at the pizza place? I said the front of the convention center. All right, cool. We'll look for you. We start looking. All of a sudden, here comes a guy, robe, slippers, pajamas, walking across the street, dodging cars at 1:30 in the morning. Gets in the car, and he shares a bed with Josh Serrano. Not my first choice of a guy to share a bed with. If I had to, put a gun to my head and say, you're sharing a bed with a guy, I would go, okay, anybody but Josh Serrano.
Fair enough.
So, everybody goes to sleep. We get like 4 hours of sleep anyway. We're getting up for breakfast. And we go to breakfast, we eat. Oh my god. Alright, so anyway, Chris Laws is staring at the waffle maker like he's never seen a waffle maker before in his life. Have you heard this story?
No.
He's just staring at the waffle maker, like trying to figure out like how to like make a waffle. And a maid walks up and she's like, you go sit, I make. So he sits down at the table, and I'm sitting there, I'm having a cheese Danish and an orange juice, and because I forgot to get a fucking Monster that day, like the convenience store right across the street has Monster Chaos, which is my breakfast beverage of choice. I didn't fucking get one. So I'm taking a sip of orange juice and then a sip of Mountain Dew. That's how I'm doing.
Almost the same thing.
It's almost the same thing. If the cups were bigger, I'd have fucking poured the Mountain Dew into the orange juice, but they were like little tiny cups. So anyway, I'm eating a cheese Danish, sipping orange juice, alternating with Mountain Dew. Chris Laws is sitting there twiddling his thumbs, and the woman shows up with a plate, 3 cups of butter, a knife, and a fork, and she goes, "You sit, wait, I make." And like 3 minutes later, she comes with another plate that's got a waffle on it, and she actually she goes, "You eat."
He failed to tell the story.
I'll tell it. That's fine. I'll tell it. That's not even the story I was going to tell, but we'll get to the story I was going to tell because this is much funnier. So, yeah, the maid made Chris Law's waffle. So we get back to the room. Jabri is still sleeping because, well, he's got to play Magic this morning. And Josh Serrano's up. And Serrano goes, "Wake up, Jabri." Starts shaking him. "Wake up, Jabri." Starts flipping the covers. "Wake up." Jabri's not budging. So Josh Serrano grabs his belt, folds it in half, and goes, "Yeah!" and starts hitting him. "Yeah! Wake up!" He's not waking up. Josh finally goes, "All right, Jabri, this is for your own good." And he grabs the covers and rips them off. And Jabri goes, and rolls back over. He's like, "Jabri, wake your black ass up. We got to go."
Wow.
I'm not done. He goes, "Jabri, if you're not up in the next minute and a half, a serious shit's going to happen."
All the things that float in my mind that I don't want to think about.
Like I said, of all the people to share a bed with, Josh Serrano's nowhere near the top of my list.
Agreed.
All right, so we go to pack up, and we start packing our stuff up, and Eric's like, "Yo, Chris, Laws, why don't you help me take this stuff down to the van?" I'm like, "Can't you get it yourself?" He's like, "I'm going to rephrase. Josh just went to the shower, and I didn't see him take any clothes with me. Would you like to help me?" It's like, Josh just went to the shower and didn't take any clothes with him. Would you like to help me pack the van? To which we immediately said, "Hell yes."
I would have helped too. I would have helped too.
So yeah, that was our GP. Josh Serrano finished 74th. Jabri finished 10th. Lost on the bubble.
Aw.
He lost the round before he could have drew in to go X and 3. Finished 10th.
That's not bad,
It's
actually.
not bad, but the largest Magic tournament ever held, and you lose on the bubble. It kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. We're thinking about going to Vegas. Modern Masters Limited. And Vegas, baby.
All right. Well, it was good to hear those stories.
Man,
Hope y'all enjoy that. I can't wait to hear the Vegas ones. Maybe we'll hear about some Vegas showgirls.
Chewy's going to be in Vegas too. That's actually a good story. So this guy wins a GP, and Chewy interviews him and just immediately likes the guy and starts inviting him onto the show. I think his name's like Jeremy Schofield or something. So Chewy starts having him on the show. And one point, he's like, "Hey man, you got to be in Vegas?" And Chewy's like, "Nah man, I can't make it to Vegas." So the guy starts like a Kickstarter page to get Chewy to Vegas. And it hit $500 in less than 2 days. Chewy is going to Vegas.
Woo!
So, I don't know if Jack LaCroix's going to be there. The man in the purple suit. He was rocking it again this weekend. I didn't see him much. But yeah. That was pretty much it.
All right. Well, hope y'all enjoy the stories. Hit the like button, subscribe button, comment. You know, all
If
that.
Running
nice
the Gauntlet
stuff.
ever comes back,
If
there's
Running the-
more of this.
Yes, there's more of this shenanigans. I hope it does come back. And I actually enjoy listening to y'all guys.
Yeah. Chris Laws was rocking his Running the Gauntlet t-shirt all weekend. Which is weird because I didn't see him wash it. But that's a different story.
All right.